Welcome back to another episode of Data Live. Obviously, there's a lot to be done. Nightmare is once again building up an army. The idea of this spirit of origin really kind of getting muddled. Someone we know and someone that is really just hurt in so many ways, trying to fix what has been. Or a complete sociopath who doesn't really care about who they hurt in order to obtain their goals. But all that might be able to be put on the back burner because, well, the angry businessman with a interesting sense of how to use power. I mean, after all, who doesn't want to live in a fantasy world with their demon daughter? With that said, Shido has a lot on his plate. So what are we waiting for? Wasting quite a lot of rice there. Seems to have at least the hang of it. That's just a actually small lunch for her. I mean, if you're going to start off like episode 2 of a new season, you want to get straight into their initial character traits and tropes. It wouldn't possibly go right if they joined in right now. Is that a good thing? I'm sure that Yoshinoan is a source of good food, both in cooking skill and emergency rations. Well, good to know that they're all getting on well with one another. Some things just work out for the best. Wait, what was that there, right there? I know we saw a lot in the ending of the last episode. But now seeing so much here, and how it all interconnects. Obviously, always there in the background, seeing their journey throughout it all, how Shido is getting on with it. Both having to just kind of suffer in silence, not interact, not spill the beans of who she really is. Wonder how hard that has actually been for. I like the distance that Kurumi has on the end. Yeah, what was I saying about Spirit of Origin? Huh. Fun game they're having. How far can they go while keeping it safe for broadcast? You might need to explain. I think it's that very destruction of society, which is the turn on. You have to, explain it a little louder. Well, maybe the last syllable, I guess. But how innocent and pure. It could have been so much worse. Do you want them to explain it to you? It might be too much. So basically, jokes about penis, jokes about boobs, different pronunciations of the word sex, and once again, kissing again. Remember, first syllable. Why is she the only one that gets put on blast and has to explain it? Right, so they're all just sharing their stories of Shido in his manly times. It seems their memories of him are circling the same genre and kind of story. That she would still be trapped in her bubble of thinking that everyone's out to get her. It's only... Well, they're there for her pleasure, for her to play with. Somewhere or another, it's the same for all of them. Emergency broadcast. So they're all tasked with calling a different member of the team there. Is Yoshinon on the phone? Well, that was brief and to the point. I like that, actually. You don't get a phone call. This is exactly why. It's also why I avoid calling as much as possible. And with the grand introduction of the AI for the ship, any more good plans that it's come up with to help? What kind of statement is that, really? And he knows exactly when to interject to calm someone down. And since when has Shido ever managed to get the easy route, the easy option? They are very much in the dark. If only they had someone that could explain everything right now. I wonder which one was made by who. There's nothing but charcoal in this. That looks green. Wasabi and nothing else? Is that all? Oh, okay. So, go up against ingredients that you don't like. That'd be kind of difficult for making an onigiri for me then. There's not much I don't eat. You know, it would probably be easier if you made it to normal size, but you know what? Celery. Ah, yes, the most challenging of all ingredients. Almost completely tasteless. As long as it's still rice inside is one up on what I was imagining. So it's just a brick in there, is there? Really challenge his stomach. Well, one easy way of finding out. Also, how's Otagami going to feel about not being able to help in the snack making progress? Shin warmers? Excuse... who exactly worms their way across the floor while sleeping? Not a sleeping trick I have ever seen before. And even if it succeeds, because he knows her origin, her story, does he want to take that that passion and fire away for the reason that she turned out like she did? Seems more like we're having some absolution. Either timey-wimey bullshit or, just being okay with the past kind of talk. Is this the first time that someone's actually just tried being nice to him with no wish for themselves in the outcome? Feeling a little useless and not being able to step in and help and do anything. Leaving his safety up to another. Well, he would have been dragged into it one way or another. I'm sure it wasn't fate that ordained he meet them all. If nothing else, because the day at the arcade and the giant bread pillow, probably not an experience you'd have all too often. The start of everything. So she had the idea of coming him and, assuaging all of his doubts and worries and making it okay. And it just turned out for, once again, him healing her heart and calming her down. Damn it, Cheeto. Making the rest of us look bad. Since when is everyone friendly and talkative with him? Did his phone break? He finally had to reach out. This cold has lasted quite a while. It's really going around. You want to be... You gotta be careful you don't get come down with anything as well. There's a conspiracy, I tell you. But yeah, it's been a while since we've... He's starting to believe. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had to worry about space quakes and the sirens and whatnot. Maybe it's not the space quakes they're trying to protect you from. I mean, what, they're already not thinking the worst of him because of his special interests? You know, worry about what you saw and the complications of it once you're not under immediate threat of demise. Why are they sending everything at once? And is it everything that the DEM have on hand, or is it, some incorrect information? Considering he can create things from that book after all. So, leaving her to handle the communications and the pep talk. She has a certain way about it, I guess, but not the worst. Not the worst battle cry I've heard, but let's hope they don't come under intense fire immediately. Are they suspecting that suffer casualties during this battle? No, as their friend. Okay, that's piling on the pressure a little more. It's not really something they can refuse now, is it? And she's been there from the beginning, having this leader role with an overview of it all. It wouldn't be right to leave her out of it now. Okay. Good that she can actually do something and isn't just superfluous. Considering we know what her power was and hasn't really done too much since having it all sealed, but she can't. Okay. Is there a time that Shido can be like, you know what, I release some of the seal on it so that you can go crazy a little? Knowing exactly what they is going to. He does remember. Damn it, Britain! But having his sister and admirer, in the case of Mano and Otagami, who know about those DEM side of it in the suits, very useful. Is there a way of... When you say capturing her, was it in what I was thinking just now of turning her to your side, briefly exposing everything the DEM have done? Or something that Otagami would consider capturing? I mean, you've got Nightmare in the shadows preparing to jump out if anything bad does happen to him, so why not put him straight on the front lines? Hell, send him in without a weapon or armor or any plan. I'm sure he'll do all right. And screw the collateral damage, right? And, of course, he had to have the ship designs, including drills and spikes. Well, it's a ragtag group and just under kind of strict business control. There are already those that tried to put up a coup against him. I wonder what the share price will... What happened to the share price if they lost this battle? Have they had an up... Oh, that's a nice shot. I liked that, actually. Have they had an upgrade since any of the past iterations that have been immediately destroyed? No. No, they haven't. Hehehehehe. I mean, it's a pretty light show, I'll give you that. That's one way of grabbing the spotlight. They are just a stepping stone on the path of her grand plans, after all. How is that possible? Are we actually getting payoff for the bullshit we had to endure that many episodes ago? You know, when they had the entire city remodeled for all their purposes. Now sustained ordnance from the ground. So respond in kind. Great. To what kind of degree? Saturation bombardment? Cracking the crust of the planet itself? Complete and utter scorched earth policy. Hang on. I only just clicked. This is the ending. Is that the time? Wow, this one went fast. Yeah, a no-holds-barred battle sequence where they're all on board fighting for their future. My ideas of what Shido is keep fluctuating because I know I just kind of dropped that train of thought I had before. But anyway, because, you know, we know that no memories of his past, his parents, well, not from before he met Kotori and became part of that family, blah, 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 blah. Was he just kind of dropped off, like I said, you know, taken from one time to another? Probably from like just before the moment of destruction, or immediately after, and like, you know, this is a reconstructed form of himself. One that's just trying to. I was going to say like remodel into what she knew. Of course, this is all based on the ending, or parts of now the opening songs. I know that I know that the Spirit of Origin has issues, considering the idea was to create an army of spirits to help fight back and obtain a future, probably for Shido, where he doesn't have to worry or whatever, or fight back against something that's coming and we can't even see that yet. But what that would mean, considering just sacrificing so many actual people along the way. And just how tired is Kurumi after all of this, considering she has created a clone army of herself and was already kind of exhausted and tired beforehand. And how long is it going to be before I get some sort of comeuppance? I mean, we know it's coming, just is it going to be under his own bravado? Is there going to be members of his own team that kind of mutiny? Or is it going to be, considering he already has the power of one spirit kind of thing, is he going to slowly obtain more, or maybe not even that slowly obtain more throughout this season and becomes a threat that they really can't ignore anymore? That'd be interesting. All in all, though, the idea of spirits is still unknown in this world, at least to the common citizenry. Is it going to stay that way? I just thought, is the idea of spirits going to become well known? I know they already have to contend with spacequakes. If the idea is, they're caused by spirits, now everyone knows about it, there's going to be an uprising there. They have to fight back against normal people without using lethal means. Don't think that's going to be done, at least not in one season, if it's not been mentioned before. But at least they can enjoy some homemade snacks and lunch, even if it is challenging flavours. I know that umeboshi is used in onigiri, and if you like that kind of sour plum, apparently it's really quite nice. I would like to try it. And I do like wasabi, so I'd like to try that one. Cilantro, or what is that in English? And when I say English, I mean UK English, not US English. Can't remember. Okay. Yes, I did have to just Google it, and it's coriander. How would you have such a strong aversion to coriander that you would go, ugh, upon tasting it? I thought that, try and have a bit more, maybe unusual combinations with rice. Like Marmite or pig's blood. That might be a little more hard to stomach. What do you mean you haven't had a teabag onigiri? It's a delicacy. But one more episode of Date A Live down. And probably the first that you'll be seeing on this channel. Obviously, if you've just found this episode, you may be wondering what happened to the others. I have another channel where everything else is stored. You can probably jump over onto that and play through the playlists. But I might be uploading all past archive stuff here as well, depending on how the reception is. But truthfully, I'm just here to try and entertain you all. If that's something that is grabbing your attention, and if you've enjoyed this episode, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. This one sorely needs it, although within the first day of releasing it, you guys have smashed my expectations. Didn't think that many people cared. Apparently you do. Apparently you like anime, no matter who watches it, even a moron like this. And if you want to make sure not to miss out any future updates or notifications, consider joining onto my Discord. Most importantly, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.